Okay, into the postseason, we got coaches to resign or maybe not. If the head coach winning, I think it'd be really stupid not to resign him. So his contract ends in 2025. It's actually 2023 in this sim. So we can just retain both of these. I do think I'm going to resign this head coach, or sorry, this offensive coordinator, because it's very probable that he gets snatched by another team if I don't lock him somehow. So the way to do that is this coach lock, which says that he cannot go to another school. Done. Yeah, I don't really care about this defensive coordinator that much. If I'm doing what I just did, I'm probably also going to coach lock the head coach. Let's see. What's his current contract? Doesn't really tell me. Oh, guarantees. I see. Probably double lock is the play then. Means the coach cannot be fired or leave to another school until 2026. Yeah, let's just do that. Done negotiating. Okay, so now we can choose a new OC. A new DC. Is he bad? No, but we're just going to see that there's a lot of other better options. Like for instance, look at all these bonuses. So let's kind of start spilling into this. Yeah, okay. So our first option is all DBs and LBs are shortened by 2 weeks. Better bonuses. Our focus is better. Defense gains some block shedding on blitz plays and also just in games. Better tackling and then increase to cornerback development. So that's all right. This one's more of a recruiter, it looks like, which I don't really care about. My head coach already has defensive recruiting stuff down for some reason. Team gains +1 to all defensive attributes in the first quarter. That's kind of nice. All defensive players get +1 zone coverage in games. It's also kind of nice. But this is also a pretty heavy recruiting guy. So this is defense against the RPO. Better focus. Defense gains +5 tackles in pursuit when facing QB runs and scrambles. Better block shedding on blitz plays. Defense is +2 man and zone coverage. All defensive players get +10 defensive IQ in games. Wow. Is there a way to sort on just that alone? That's so good. That is really so good. All defense plays get +1 strength. Block shedding in games. Block shedding on blitz plays. Defense gains +3 strength at the goal line. I really like this defensive IQ, but he kind of gives up some other nice stuff. Let's see. Just give me let's do it this way. What if we also just called aggressive zone? Players get +1 coverage. Give me the IQ one. Here we go. What, 3-4? There's also just the fact that like I'd like probably like a defensive genius. Have I just coming back to this Pierce Mullins guy twice now? I think I have. Ooh, but there's this other guy too. Tackling fundamentals is also really good. Both of these guys have that. I think we're gonna go with Reen Houston. So compared to who we currently have, he just got worse scouting, but better play calling, and perks that actually I'm interested in having. Also 50 years old. That doesn't actually matter. Yeah, we'll go with Reen Houston, and we'll do like a 2-year deal. Ooh, interesting. We lose some integrity. So actually, it's not that simple, huh? This is like kind of new to me because with just being a coach, you can pick up whoever you want. Let's do coach lock. Oh, I lose integrity trying to go for either of these guys. That's interesting. I think it will be important to actually keep integrity. So maybe let's not go for those players. Can I go for any player? Or how do I know who's available then? Genuinely, how am I supposed to tell if they're available? That's kind of a lot. Oh, I have a penalty for firing this guy. I see. Okay. We'll keep Casey Moran then. Vance. I guess it's kind of insane actually to fire him considering he had like one of the best defenses in the nation. Underwood leaves. Shelton obviously leaves. 3 of our wide receivers leave. We still have such a good corp. Dixon leaves. Trent Malik leaves. Got the same kicker, which is good. Our defensive line probably looks ravaged now. They might be able to grow. Our linebacking core will be fine next year too, but we lose Judah, Hogan, and then our cornerbacks. Our cornerbacks could be better. We're probably going to have to change our scheme out of the nickel. Safeties still look really strong. So the question of should we keep our cornerback might depend more on what is at stake here for me to lose. Win the defensive player of the year. He definitely can with a 96 overall. And our cornerback group looks pretty bad without him. So I think I'm going to wager that he will. He already got first team All-American. Yeah, I don't feel like I'm really risking a whole lot. All right, we got a bunch of whiners. So this quarterback's going to leave because he didn't start last year, basically. He will play 75% of the passes, or 75% of snaps for sure. And then the other guys, they can leave. At running back, you're about to be the number 2, dog. What are you doing? Oh, never mind. Well, yeah, you are about to be the number 2. 30 carries is easy. 25 carries should also be possible, but I don't actually think I care about keeping around someone that's 72 overall. There's not really anything here that looks super good, actually. We already have receiving back. A receiver, 15 targets, of course, you'll be second. 4th on a depth chart. It's a little more difficult to make promises. I think 50% of snaps is possible. And then we have this balanced receiver. Man, but no recruits filling in behind. So yeah, we might give you the promise that get playtime. Amarndo Brown, I think, might have been our 3rd string wide receiver. It's not gonna let me see. In any case, we don't really have enough depth to let him go. Maybe slot number 1, Chico. Can we move on without you though? Probably not. You're a pretty good receiver. So we'll take him. At offensive line, 60% of snaps. I cannot make those kind of promises to these 2 players. Actually, this is probably the smarter player to make that promise to. Since he's A-, he'll probably have a huge gain, especially being a junior. I don't know how he's going to reach his A- potential over the course of the offseason, but I can't wait to see it happen. Our kicker, feel a little hurt that you didn't get any playtime. I get it. Although, the guy that we have in right now, he's pretty good. This just seems so cheap and easy to hit that I'm going to keep him. I can just put him in at punter. He's not a bad punter. He's not even a bad kicker. Maybe even better than our current kicker. So yeah, we can make the deal. At lineman, you're 3rd on the depth chart. What are you doing? You're 5th on the depth chart. Yes. Just be patient. At linebacker, yes, you will get those snaps. You will probably also get those snaps. You may get those snaps. I don't know. What to do here? Probably we want to look at what they're actually bringing. kind of defense are we going to run next season? What kind of defense can we run? What's my coach's abilities here? So we can show a 3-4 or a nickel. Let's look at the cornerbacks before we make some big decisions here. So our cornerback, I'm not loving a ton what's going on. We don't have a whole lot of depth. I mean, we got 3 cornerbacks, which is good, but that's not really like exactly what you want. So now I'm starting to think this linebacker core is 380s with probably a 4th, and then he'll get some nice bump. My defensive line corps is probably just 380s with some nice depth. So we're probably running the 3-4 into next season, which just means that making this promise might be wrong, since we'll only have 3 linebackers down at a given time. He is a B+ player, and 70% of the snaps is really not asking for a whole lot. I mean, this guy got first team all freshman, defensive lineman, and I think he was like 6 in the rotation or 7 in the rotation. I think we'll keep where we're looking here. And then just getting more depth at linebacker is probably actually more important now. That safety. Yeah. You guys are first and second. Like, come on now. What, Vance? So we can see who all got drafted. Trenton Shelton gets drafted first. Hell yeah. We got another one, Lewis Long, our cornerback. And we can sort by Ohio State. Oops. So a whole bunch of Pro Bowl talent or NFL talent gone. This is where the game gets a little harder. For recruiting, what I like to do is really sort of the same kind of deal, where I'm just interested in getting these kind of easy wins. So here's a defensive lineman that I can probably grab. It's a linebacker that I can probably grab. Some of these thousands, I just have no chance really. So then I start looking at like, what is the biggest gap for me really? Let's just do this off of interest score now. So like this tight end, there's a chance I could get him. It's not really that important though. What potential, or let's do overall. Overall, it'd be kind of stupid not to give some of these players a go. Like this is a player that we could probably get even. Just loading up the ones that are low. And these are just kind of like, in my opinion, like nice to have, win now kind of situations. Being very indiscriminate about who I target. Because I'm just basically going to put all of my effort into getting these players. Whoa, that's not happening. Neither is that one probably. Okay, it's probably enough. We don't have to, actually this last one just feels like that's easy. We don't have to go crazy. So we got all our needs covered. We also got Felix Couch. I'm just going to sort by overall. I'm also just going to offer all these guys contracts. They're going to sign on signing day, no doubt. I don't really want to deal with checking. My philosophy here is give me the easy ones. And, oh, that's funny. We're out of actions. So I could be a little more careful about who I choose. What do I feel that I need? Do I need a running back? What do I feel? What does my roster look like? Emmanuel Brady did not do very well for us. So running back would be nice. Let's give this guy a look for sure. Our receivers. A receiver, I feel like I've got too many. I definitely don't have too many. But I've made some promises to some. So I gotta be a little careful here. Really, I guess I'm just looking for the ones that would be easiest to get, because I don't actually need to. How do I do that? It's the closest battles, I guess. Well, that's not really accurate either. I don't really need to. Is this better? It's probably the best. That's what we're gonna do. I just need depth at this position. So start removing some of these. We can go back, of course, and offer some of these again later. So like, yeah, this guy's definitely a good pick. And here's another one where like these would definitely be super nice to have. Let's move forward with that. Far selections there. Tight end. We just lost our star tight end. We don't have a tight end to fill. We can just run non-tight end plays though, since I do call the plays. I think that's fine. An O-line. Offensive line is looking pretty good. Again, we just need depth. So I just want the guys that can kind of come in and I know that they're going to be able to play. It looks like this guy is probably my best bet. And then this guy after that. So we'll go for those two. I think we'll be able to steal this William Whitfield. How is he at 88 overall and not being targeted more? That's crazy. What else do I want to do? So kickers, we definitely don't need kickers. Definitely do not need a kicker. Oh, we're still in this game for Zion. Interesting. Let's get these two guys just done. Yeah, let's get these guys. At linebacker, I just like the idea of taking this player from Michigan. So that's what we're going to do. So corner, if we were able to get another corner that was really solid, then that would completely change what we would do into the offseason. So yeah, we're going to Let's see what happens here. I'm not going to spend any money on any players because it's really not that important. I think we're fine with what we got. This would be a good def player. So then we can just offer our offers to the rest. We will see what happens. So we're about points ahead. So seems like we're a lock to get William Whitfield. I like kind of making my bed and sleeping in it. So I'm just going to move on forward. If there's any that are really close, I might consider putting some money in to lock them away. Yeah, that's a somewhat, not very, somewhat. I think we're going to probably get a offensive lineman. It's kind of an interesting play. I don't think we're going to get him just because I didn't really put much in. I'm not really trying, as you can tell. That's a somewhat, so it's not even worth me chasing after. Just sim forward. So signing day, who else did we get? The biggest one that I would care about getting is Zion Tan. So we did want him from the beginning. We got this additional safety, which is nice. We got Whitfield. I feel like that's a steal. We got Reeves. Some more strength at O-line. Very nice. Taking a look at kind of how this looks. So I'm just going to cover maintenance. Keep the standard of what OSU football looks like the same. And then what I'd actually like to increase is the academics, because the boosts that I can get and the amount of money I can get can be increased this way. I also get better coach experience. And then the remainder I could spend on my nil budget, but that's already maxed out. So we'll see if we can't get an additional level in marketing. We can max out the nil budget still, but there's not really a reason to. So we'll just max out academics, and this will cover the debt or maintenance for next season. Really good season in terms of money. Got plenty of nil money, and it really wasn't a factor in terms of our ability to recruit. Okay, cool. So we have this conference realignment. We can see Cincinnati had a really productive year, so they are moving from the Big 12 to the Pac-10, and a bunch of other little changes here and there. I don't really care about any of this stuff. I mostly care about how it affects me. And so it looks like the Big Ten East Conference is mostly the same with Michigan, Penn State, and Michigan State. And then even in the Big Ten Conference, I guess UCLA moving in is different, or maybe not. I don't actually know off the top of my head, but it doesn't feel any different. So we will just advance. This is the recommended schedule. One thing that you can do to kind of cheat some games is to change everything to home. Since Pittsburgh is a better team, I would prefer to do this at home. Also for recruiting, we can do Eastern Michigan away. I don't think it changes a whole lot, but honestly, what I'd recommend doing if you're playing is just sending everything to home. I'm going to try to keep this more realistic and do an away game at Eastern Michigan. But Nevada and Pittsburgh will both be at home for the advantage. And then also for scouting, so that I can do recruitment visits. So that's the off season. Now we're into season 2, which is really still part of the off season. We could change player positions, but we really shouldn't need to. I didn't realize how we only have one quarterback. It's not great. I don't think we really have someone that can throw at running back. Normally you don't. I normally never play with position changes. So we'll go all the way up to the game plan install, and then I'll stop for this episode. Oh, looks like I didn't consider, or maybe this is a walk-on. I bet Wyatt Moore is a walk-on. Where'd you come from? It's not, yeah, so he's a walk-on. So yeah, they had to fill a position, so they did. That's cool. He's decent. We have a starting quarterback, but really nothing behind him. Malachi Winters is, the quarterback of the future, but yeah, he's not starting. A running back, Emmanuel Brady got better. Jason Murphy can actually see the field now comfortably. Our receivers are ridiculous. We're not going to be throwing to a tight end at all this season. Our O-line is stacked beyond my initial comprehension. I mean, I promised this guy 60% of the snaps, but how am I going to do that when he's the 10th best offensive lineman on my team? Look at the kicker. Oh, no gains. Interesting. D-line looks all right. There's really just these three starters, though. So 3-4 is what we're going to be doing. Our linebacking core is really strong. Cornerbacks are there. We got a good 3. And then we have a lot of really talented safeties. So yeah, in terms of game plan install, it's going to be a 3-4 kind of season, going from nickel. Definitely sticking with the spread. We don't have the talent at tight end to do anything else. Save in advance. Cool. Next episode will be like redshirting players, going back through the same kind of gameplay loop that we have already established, and going back to the national championship and hopefully